possible.
I'm privileged to introduce Mr. Zafar Masud. He is the president of Bank of Punjab, Pakistan.
Thank you very much, Rehan Saab. Thank you very much, the organizers of the In Search of Roots Foundation and the team for putting this inaugural fair together. So very quickly, ladies and gentlemen, this is the worst time to be doing a presentation because, you know, it's just too late in the day, and most of you must be tired and looking forward to the dinner. And here I am between the dinner and the speeches that you have been confronted with since morning. South Asia, next slide. South Asia remittances landscape. There are a total of $246 billion of remittances in South Asia, home remittances, which is 36% of the global market share. However, there is still a very large number of informal remittances, and this is what we need to target for. Almost 20 to 50% are the informal sector. The range is too large because it's difficult to figure out what the real number is. The strategic imperative of forum like this today shall be to look at how we can formalize these informal flows, which ranges between $30 to $50 billion, with additional documentation inflows to South Asia. And it's a real macro, effects and multiplier effect indeed. Second slide. In South Asia, very quickly, a product ecosystem. Every country has its own strengths of product offering. For example, Pakistan has more holistic proposition. India has more market depth leadership. Nepal has credit innovation niche. Bangladesh has yield-focused model, and Sri Lanka has simplicity of structure. Next slide. In Pakistan, the remittances remained an anchor for the external account management. $38.3 billion of total remittances last year. We are targeting for $40 billion this year, which is almost more than 100% of the total trade deficit has been financed through the remittances alone. The idea is to enhance these remittances from jurisdiction like United States of America. And what needs to be done there, we'll talk about it in a bit. The challenge, however, is to shift the remittances from the existing consumption-driven to investment-driven. And when we talk about investment-driven, this is where the markets like United States of America becomes more important. Next slide. As it's very apparent that the pronounced role of remittances in Pakistan's economy and its support for the external account. The exports and remittances are almost at par now. And with 130% last year of the trade deficit being financed through the remittances alone. Next slide. The recent geopolitical risk, by the way, has indeed put some kind of peril on these flows. Nevertheless, we are looking towards how we can make sure that these remittances, which are almost 60% from GCC, won't get impaired as we go along. With the recent, political developments taking place, although there was a slight dip in March of around 3%, which could have nothing to do with the conflict as such, we believe that remittances will remain unhurt. Nevertheless, we'll find out at the end of April what actually happens. Next slide. In terms of Pakistan's diaspora, footprint and the capital flows, Pakistan diaspora is represented in 175 plus countries. Mainly it's GCC, where it's labor-driven inflows. In UK, USA, and EU, it's actually wealth and investment potential. The strategic gap, which has always been there in sending the remittances, and I was hearing one of the speakers in the last panel, and he seems to have pretty much similar problems as Pakistan had, which is repatriation of money back into US or any other jurisdiction. With new offering of Roshan Digital Account, and I'll talk about it, Roshan Digital Account in a bit, it's a fully digitized offering. That problem has been taken care of to a large extent. In fact, ladies and gentlemen, this is just the right forum. I think Bhatnagar Sahab has left. I can't see him here. Otherwise, I would have told him that there is a possibility for him to invest in Pakistan through the Roshan Digital Account 2.0 that's being offered. Earlier, it was only for the foreign nationals. Now it is open for the local nationals. Now it's open for the foreign nationals, entities and funds as well. And that makes this whole discussion even more important for a country like US. Ugly slide. There has been some certain structural issues which we have been trying to address, and to a large extent we have been able to address them as well. There was physical mandatory presence for the account opening, fragmented documentation. There was no access to digital banking. Operational inefficiencies were there. But of course, there were very limited investment opportunities. Next slide. Roshan Digital Account has been able to make that structural breakthrough in Pakistan. I'm sharing this product because this may help the other South Asian countries to emulate the same and take it forward. And we'll be happy. I'm also the chairman of Pakistan Banks Association, and I'm very happy to assist whoever our brethren countries in the region would like any assistance in structuring this product. There is a robust digital infrastructure which has been set up for this product. Online account, online onboarding was established. Product coverage was enhanced. And in terms of market segment, as I said earlier, it was primarily earlier was only restricted to the overseas Pakistanis. Now, the foreign nationals, the government officials working abroad, like Chandna Saab is here, and the legal entities can also invest. Chandna Saab has already made my life easier by presenting to you the structural problems that Pakistan has been facing. I'm talking about more from an operational standpoint of what needs to be done and how these flows could become easier for people to invest in Pakistani investment opportunities. I'll talk about those opportunities in a bit too. Next slide. There were primarily 4 pillars of Roshan Digital Account, starting from the typical, remittance, consumption-related remittance barriers, which has been taken care of through making it fully digitized. There was investment opportunities which were lacking. Now you can invest into Pakistan government securities, you can invest into, and with the currency stability, as Chandna Saab mentioned to you, that has become a very attractive proposition. There is a new Naya Pakistan certificate that we have introduced, both in Islamic version as well as conventional. The returns are in foreign currency, it's 7.75% from 3 months to 5 years. And in rupees, it's 11.5% up to 5 years. It's a very attractive proposition. And of course, the Pakistan Stock Exchange, I'll probably skip that later on, but the Pakistan Stock Exchange remains one of the best performing stock exchange in the world. And for example, the stock of Bank of Punjab was the best performing banking stock in the entire Asia in 2025. Our price grew by 334% in 1 year alone. Then there are financing opportunities. Overseas Pakistanis do need, car financing and house financing for the beneficiaries back home. That has been built into it as well with the very professional rates. I'll just talk about it in detail later. And the lifestyle products, especially from a pension standpoint, because if you want to go back to Pakistan, you need to have some kind of security that you have that investment and savings there. And then, of course, charity is a big deal in South Asia. In Pakistan, I tell you, one of the biggest reasons why nobody sleeps in night hungry is because there is a large charity ecosystem in Pakistan. So, and overseas Pakistanis, non-resident Pakistanis contribute substantially towards that. Next slide. As I said, I talked about the stock exchange. We talked about the income certificates, the fixed income certificates. On the fixed income certificate, I also heard somebody saying that there were serious problems with remitting money. In Pakistan, that's not a problem. You can remit money in and out anytime. There's through Roshan Digital Account, never been an issue. We saw the worst in 2022. Not a single remittance was stopped. Secondly, somebody also mentioned about the complexities of taxation. That's been simplified completely. Full and final taxation of 10% on the profitability, and that's about it. Next slide is financing. I talked about financing in a bit as well. But on the financing side, I just want to mention there is 400 to 500 basis point cheaper loans for non-resident Pakistanis than the commercial rates otherwise are. That's an incentive being given to them to buy houses. In Pakistan, generally, we do not lend, for housing more than 10 years. For overseas Pakistanis, that's been done for up to 25 years. In vehicle financing, we do not normally do more than 5 years. In overseas Pakistanis case, it's been done for 7 years. So all those preferential treatments have been extended to promote the remittances in Pakistan. Another, a real problem that Pakistani overseas faced, and I guess the other South Asian working abroad would have faced the same problem as well, is the fact that you end up putting in investment in those real estate projects which perhaps give you a heartache, never gets completed. In Pakistan, what we've done is we have created a list of pre-approved projects so that when you are investing through Roshan Digital Account and when you are investing in Pakistan via Roshan Digital Account, we do our due diligence on your behalf and make sure that your money don't get stuck. Next slide. As I said, charity is a big deal in Pakistan. If you look at charity here, again, we make sure that for the charities, you go to those charities only, which are again certified and proper due diligence has been done for education, for health, for microfinancing. All of that is done by the banks for the overseas Pakistanis. On the long-term, pension funds, there are certain listed asset management companies which provides tax-efficient investment in pension in retirement funds, and you can decide on what kind of frequency you would like to contribute with the minimum amount as low as 10,000 rupees. Next slide. Now, the next frontier, and it's quite topical to this conference today as well, is related to how we can transform the existing consumption-driven remittances to the FDI-driven remittances. And that's where, as we call it, RDA 2.0 becomes very handy to create and crystallize the sustainable FDI pipeline. With investment in Naya Pakistan certificates, in government securities, in government equities, in capital markets, that opportunity is very much there. Next slide. However, the the unrealized potential is enormous in various markets. The future opportunities are very attractive, and we have the right, if we have the right product and marketing, which has been lacking in the case of Pakistan. We have not been marketing our products right, and I can tell you, you all didn't know that this is what is going on in Pakistan, right? So this is our fault. This is not your fault, this is our fault. We never reached out to you and told you that these kind of opportunities exist in Pakistan. Just to give you a sense of what kind of opportunities we are talking about. Right now in Saudi Arabia, we get around $9.5 billion of remittances. It could go up to $10.1 billion. Not a substantial upside, but nevertheless the upside is there. The UAE and UK, you can actually double the existing size. UAE is around $8 billion. UK is around $6 billion. These two can be doubled if you do the marketing right, if you have the product right. In the US, for example, this is the biggest upside is. It could be increased by 4 times actually. It's merely around $4 billion, and it could be increased to around $16 billion. This is the upside we are talking about when we talk about United States of America, and especially in the space of investments in FDI. Next slide. However, there are certain infrastructure gaps which still exist, as I admitted myself, and the challenges are being taken care of. The remittances, existing infrastructure, which is highly, high volume driven, is now being moved to future ready requirements of those markets. Cost and speed improvement remains the key, and that's the need of the hour. Next slide. The case is acting now, and therefore the Pakistan needs to go digital further. This is not only a benefit in the flows of remittances, but in terms of overall digitization effort of Pakistan. Pakistan has one of the highest currency in circulation in the world. That will help in subsiding that impact as well. It also have this, and it does have a side effect on the investment and of course inflation. And if we'll be able to tackle all of this with the digitization, I guess we'll be in a very good space to attract investments in Pakistan. Are highly subsidy driven, by the way, just like Bangladesh, for example. And we are now working towards getting rid of those subsidies, because in a country like Pakistan where large fiscal deficit exists, the subsidy is unsustainable. And that is only possible if we start using the digital channels. And I'll come to another proposition which we are recently trying to introduce. I think we're much ahead of the game. Pakistan is much ahead of the game in that particular space than the rest of the region, including India. So in terms of whole infrastructure development, we have to move away from subsidy-led to infrastructure-led model. Next slide. Pakistan's policy journey has been from a digitization to now from a total ban on cryptos in 2018 to now allowing the exchanges, crypto exchanges, to open accounts with the banks. BOP has taken a lead and making a big announcement, in fact tomorrow, about what we are about to do in this space. Next slide. The world is moving towards digital currency. The world is moving towards cryptos. And when you talk about market like United States of America, cryptos, stable coins play a key role. And this has to be integrated into the remittance offering, and that will help you in attracting more flows from the world. Next slide. The digital railroads are very much there, but it needs to be capitalized from a regulatory banking standpoint to more towards the future ready infrastructure that I talked about. And BOP has cracked that trick. I'll just share it with you later. I'm keeping the thing for the last. Next slide. So what we've done is that we have have integrated stable coin into the remittance offering. This will help in improving the real-time remittance to take place, low cost and transparent transfers. Next slide. BOP is one of the largest banks in Pakistan with a very robust digital infrastructure, and we are now the number one digital lender in Pakistan as well. And we are signing, and I'm happy to share it with you. You're probably the first one that I'm sharing publicly this news, that we are tomorrow signing with Stacks of USA to offer a stable coin based remittance product out of Pakistan. Tomorrow at 10:30, we're signing with them. We've got the nod from Central Bank also, and we're very excited about taking it forward. Next slide. The strategic stablecoin use case for Pakistan is essentially in two offerings. One is the remittances, and the second one is to at a later stage, the incoming remittances would be used as a reserve for trade, for investments, and for consumption purposes too. Next slide. What BOP is planning to do is to have a stable coin offering, and then with RDA offering, corporate corridor expansion. We are also looking at working on green remittances and programmable impact financing, which becomes very important when you allow the funds and the foreign entities to invest in your investment products too. Global partnership and interoperability. I'll be very, very happy to talk to whoever wants to talk to us about any collaboration in Pakistan to take it forward. And that's the reason why, frankly, I'm here to have that collaboration with the other players in the region. We have to explore similar opportunities of how we can work together in South Asia. Next slide. This governance piece is something which is very important. And from a governance standpoint, protecting Pak rupee stability while enabling the innovation is the key, the balance between the two. And the innovation that we have come out with Stacks is taking care of that piece very well. Next slide. In South Asia, as we have heard from the other speakers also, pretty similar problems. The corridor concentration risk, the persistent cost inefficiencies, regulatory fragmentation, last mile constraints, liquidity, settlement frictions. The next slide. The call for action is now. We need to have corridor-centric strategy and product offering, and therefore domestic optimization becomes very necessary. And then establish corridor-level frameworks, prioritize high-volume corridor pilots, institutionalize regional coordination, optimize liquidity and settlement, and enhance pricing transparencies. At the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, the choice is not between crypto and control. It's between fragmentation and coordinated innovation. Thank you very much.